What's up, man? We got it at Christmas time.
Hello, everyone. Oh, we're live. Are we live?
Oh, did we do it?
Well, we did do it. Okay, we did that thing right there. Good evening, everyone. All you nerds. Welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It is Thursday, April 21st. And right now, PAX is happening. And everybody you see on the screen is not at PAX right now.
And we miss all the people who were there.
We do. Finn is at PAX right now, actually.
I saw Finn's yellow pants.
Finn, mask up, stay safe, spread that good SDGC gospel, and everybody at PAX, please be safe. Like, keep those masks on. Be careful. Don't be coughing in anyone's face. If you feel sick, go get a test. Like, don't play with fire.
Because of course, by the time this episode is out on podcast services, PAX will be over. So
yeah, well, you know what? I'm speaking into the past. I am from the future speaking into the past, and I hope that everyone listened to my advice. That doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. We're waiting on Britt. We've got some really cool friends who have joined us tonight. Now, Amanda Farough is here. Amanda, you haven't been on in a very long time.
I moved.
You did. You moved to a nice house too.
I moved.
You moved to a
It has honestly been such a challenging existence.
I love the check into the hallway.
No. Yeah. I thought that somebody was talking to me. So no, this is a huge room though. This is a huge room. This houses all four of the adults in my house in this room to work. So I thought someone was talking to me. So it's like, what's going on? Anyway, my whole life has been consumed by moving since like December.
And your house is phenomenal.
It's gorgeous.
It's what happens when four people get together and buy a house.
That is
you can buy a lot of house for your kids.
Yeah, no, that is like that's a palatial
It might be the only
home.
way any of us can buy houses the way things are going.
Yeah, the market.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Without the footers, the Faroughs would not own a home.
Yeah, like
polyamory to fight capitalism. I'm with it.
Hello, thank you.
I'm with it.
Thank
Amanda,
you.
Aside from moving, what sort of video game related nonsense have you been up to? You're doing the virtual economy cast.
Yes.
What else?
Mostly weekly.
On? That's mostly
Mostly weekly. Sometimes we do it twice a week. Those are the fun weeks. Other stuff I've been doing. I'm writing a book.
No shit.
Is very cool. Yes.
Can you drop the title?
Dr. Rachel Cowart and I are writing a book
together.
Oh,
Rachel's great.
Yeah, Rachel's adorable and wonderful, and I'm very excited to be writing this book with her. But no, I cannot tell you the title yet. I can't give you any details until the ink is dry. But I can tell you that we are writing this. What's that?
I said strict NDAs, you see.
Yeah, absolutely strict. Honestly, it's just because I don't know yet.
Is the title...
Titles are the worst part.
Is the title Why John is So Cool?
Absolutely not.
And attractive?
No.
No,
you could write a thread on that on Twitter if you really want me to.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Do I need to go to Twitter and drop the screenshot of John's good opinions? John's good opinion.
I mean that's
I
fine.
still have that on my phone.
Why do you still have
really
that?
Beautiful.
I don't know because it saved in my Google Cloud, and I've just never deleted it.
All right. Well, that other voice you hear is Josh. Anyway. We're gonna continue. I'm just kidding, Josh. How you been?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm really enjoying myself. Tuesday was my 3-year anniversary of streaming, so that was hella fun. And yeah, I'm around. I do things. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been good. Been having some good times. Fucking folks at Sega sent me this shit.
Yo.
Oh,
He's
nice.
got a skateboard and a fucking drone.
Oh, hey.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're an influencer. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Apparently? I don't...
That's awesome, dude.
Don't be influenced by me, though. Please. God, don't. I make terrible decisions. Just as a warning.
I don't think I you.
I haven't learned of one yet, so...
No.
Shout out to our pal Mike Laidlaw in the chat. Mike, it's good to see you, bud. Okay, so... Josh, did you have something else you wanted to say? I did not mean to cut you off.
No. I was literally just gonna say, like, I mean, I'm around. I stream. I'm on Twitter. Sometimes I'm funny.
You're always funny.
Basically.
What are you talking about?
Sometimes you are funny.
You know me. I get
that. And other times you're hilarious.
You live in a constant state of amusement.
And
for
more
other
often
people
than not, you are just a wholesome, sweet human.
I try when I'm not ready to punch someone in the face, but that's a different
people
story.
need a punch in the face.
Sometimes people do need a punch in the
this
face.
shit on Twitter for fucking years, and people get mad whenever I do.
Well, John,
you're bad at it.
Yeah, John, they're worried you'll actually punch them in the face.
That's why I don't tell
And
people
you
I'm
have
going
a
to punch them in the
heavy
face.
punch.
I don't tell people I'm going to punch them in the face on the internet because they are afraid I'll actually do it, and I actually pack quite the wall up. So,
Yeah, no, I don't ever want to see. Like, I don't ever want to be on the receiving end of Amanda punch. That's horrifying.
Amanda's one of the few people that I am way too intimidated by.
I'm also a very sweet, soft human being, and I just love everybody. So
I once, there was some shit going down at PAX once, and I actually went to Mike and Amanda's room to warn them. Some idiot, some incel was walking around live streaming panels being hosted by women and saying like, okay, here's where she is right here, and here's where she is right here.
I remember that.
Shit.
Yeah, and so I went to Amanda's room and knocked on the door, and I said, "Hey, Amanda, you need to be warned. Like, this person, like, was at your panel, blah blah blah." And Amanda's like, "I'll fuck him up. I don't even care." I'm like, "Oh." Okay. I was like, "All right, well."
think about that, man. That's how we do things. In
I
Canada.
was like, "Wow, okay."
All right, we'll
Go
be
for a
blessed.
fucking
Very
scrap,
nice.
eh?
Okay. Yeah, God, Derek, do you guys remember that dude?
I do. I remember because we couldn't get back in to close shit down.
Yeah, holy
bad.
shit, that was fucking wild.
But yeah, no, my response to that was, I'll fuck him up. I don't care.
Amanda was like, I don't give a shit. Amanda was like, I'll fucking slam somebody's face on a wall, in a brick wall. She's like, I fucking scrap. I'm like, okay. Amanda, don't go looking for anyone. Like, Amanda was putting her fucking shit on. She's like, let's go. And I'm like, whoa, calm down.
Like, I'll take my earrings out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like,
your girl wears her hoops.
I'm like holding Amanda back. I'm like, no.
Stab his eye with the post.
This fucking conversation is just making me sad about PAX all over again. Despite the bullshit, it's always
cats in the cradle and the silver spoon.
little boy blue and the man in the moon.
I mean, it's not really. It doesn't actually reference the situation. It's just a sad song. I could have gone with "Patches, I'm depending on you, son," but I come on.
Brittany's here. Like, what
Hi,
the fuck
Britt.
did I just walk into?
Britt came just in time for me to sing "Patches," so that's where we're at.
At least,
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
At least Britt didn't come into the conversation before we went live the moment you did, Josh.
Yes. I'm going to ruin this. I came into the line, and I quote, "Have you heard of fellatio?" That's when I joined the green room, and that was the first. I just hear that out of nowhere, and I'm like,
I mean, have you, Josh? It's a valid question.
I have, yes. I have been informed.
It's not an Italian dish.
I read it's
order,
not
Josh.
Italian, as we've discussed.
I love this podcast. Oh my god! All right.
I missed you all.
We missed you.
This is trial by fire.
All right. So we got topics tonight. So as always, we're gonna go around the horn and we're gonna talk about what we've been playing. And we've got we've got two sides of the same Nintendo coin to talk about tonight.
They're not even remotely related, but
they're not.
There's a certain amount of dissonance in us talking about some like labor allegations about Nintendo, and then talking about some leaked stuff for their online service. But like,
right.
There's an angle to the labor stuff. Like, I do promise.
There is.
You know us. We're always good and responsible at talking about our favorite lefty causes. So,
you
know what?
Enlighten me, because I have no idea what's going on.
We'll get there.
You will, Britt. We're gonna get you there.
Britt, you look so beautiful tonight.
Thank you.
You look so
You do look
beautiful.
great. But that's because you always look great.
This is correct.
I love that Britt and Amanda are look great, and like I'm like in a fucking bathrobe that
I'm
I got
always
at Target.
bottom.
Like, yeah.
Bottom row. Bottom row.
Good night, everybody.
Well, it's
Thank
been
you.
another episode of SDGC, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh,
I love the 5 seconds of silence where everybody's like,
I'm the one that made it. Like the comment too. That's bad.
all right, so I'll go ahead and kick us off what we've been playing, then we'll kick it over to Amanda because I'll be quick. I normally am. I finished Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition, and it's Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross, I like to describe it as a great JRPG and a bad Chrono Trigger sequel. Some aspects of it have aged very, very well. Some have not. I personally there's been a lot of talk about how poorly it ran. Honestly, I played it on Switch handheld and it played like the PS1 game. Like I didn't aside from some really bad slowdown on the SS Zelbus, which is Fargo ship, and Britt had warned me about that beforehand because she had the game before any of us, and she was like, John, when you get to the ship, the frame rate gets real bad, and she was right.
Any part in the game where there's any kind of like high resolution backgrounds just fucking sucks. Like Kid's Dream, when you do that, it is a slog. Like
so I played with the classic visuals and the classic character models because I'm old school like that, and it played like the PS1 game for me. I don't know if that's because I didn't use the new high res stuff. But it's Chrono Trigger, right? Like the music is still an all-timer. It still has one of my favorite moments in any RPG, and it's that moment where you meet Miguel in the Dead Sea at Nadia's Bell. Combined with what you've learned about the story, what Miguel told you in that music, like it's such an incredible moment. And I finished it, and again, like it's Chrono Trigger or it's Chrono Cross. Good JRPG. I'm not in a rush to go back and play it again. So yeah, and aside from that, I've been replaying Earthbound.
Nice.
One of my favorite fucking games of all time. I love Earthbound. I was so happy when it came to Switch finally, because I really didn't want to spend $600 on a fucking SNES cart.
No, that's fair.
That game is fucking expensive on the used games market. It is ridiculous, and I hope
only there were options aside from.
Well,
Video game preservation is important.
You know what? Now there is, and I hope the fucking price
now
on that
there
shit
is,
craters.
and I'm very happy that dropped on the Nintendo Switch Online.
We could have an entire conversation dedicated to the used game market and what the heck is going on there. We could have an entire episode about it.
Actually, I'm not a fan of games. I've never helped anything with the case of games preservation. Unrelated, Amanda, feel free to hit me up about the latest hit save stuff.
Well, you know what, Josh? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Quit being part of the fucking problem.
I'm part of the problem.
Well, he's going to be part of the solution because he's going to help me raise money for Hit Save.
I don't have a choice, though. Like, I don't have a choice. Like, Amanda just messaged me and she's like, "You're going to fucking help, right?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Wow, holy shit.
Yes, sorry.
Something I'd say.
But
no,
she
I
said
would look at you with my big eyes and be like, "You're going to do it."
And I would say yes in a heartbeat. I'd be like, "God damn it, fine."
Amanda,
and I'll reluctantly and lovingly do this.
Amanda, speaking of video games, what have you been playing recently?
I've been playing Redacted, which I can't talk about.
Oh shit!
Someone's been playing Redacted.
Someone's playing Ninja Turtles. That's my guess.
I don't know.
Well, she can't say anything, so
I know.
Redacted.
I just
when I'm not playing Redacted, Mike finally set up his arcade cabinet. So last night,
it looks so good.
I must have missed this.
So last night we sat down.
There's some pics on Twitter. Go on the
It's so good. It's so good. So we sat down last night because he specifically found me Sailor Moon on arcade, the side-scroller. Yeah.
Senshi Shoujo.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
The first one or the second one with 2-player?
With 2-player.
Nice.
With 2-player. The one that came out in Europe. So it's awesome. I love it very much. I was very happy while I was playing it last night because I got to play as Mercury, and it was just fantastic.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I heard it and I was like,
secretly
but no, I was like,
fan.
you know what? No, I expected it.
No, it's okay. It's all good. And I've been playing Elden Ring, which is my first Soulsborne game.
Oh,
I've never played a
Amanda.
Soulsborne game before and liked it. Like, I tried Bloodborne, but I didn't like it very much. But I love Elden Ring. So I've been really, really enjoying myself playing Elden Ring. And I'm not frustrated with it. I'm just like, no, I'm getting better at this game. This is good. And I'm in a forest. This is great.
Amanda, I cannot wait, and I know Derek will back me up with this. I cannot wait till you reach Millennia, the Blade of Miquella.
Ooh.
Wow, it's a very nice name. Derek, is it a very nice boss fight?
I'd argue it is now.
Derek's face.
I'd argue it is now, since you can just summon the greatest legend in all of
No,
video games.
no. Josh, so before we get into Let Me Solo Her, I can't say that out loud without like feeling
you
weird.
can't. You need to put context immediately.
Yeah. So Let Me Solo Her. Let Me Solo Her is the name of a now legendary Souls player who is just a naked man with a pot on his head and two katanas who just does exactly what he says he's going to do. You summon him and he will just solo Millennia. But so Millennia was recently buffed over the last few days.
Bleed.
So not only did they Not only did they nerf bleed, nobody knows if this particular buff to Millennia is legit or a bug, but normally when she hits you, she gets health back for every hit. But now she just fucking heals constantly. Without warning.
Oh, just in general.
She just swings her fucking blade and heals.
Cool.
And
I was about to say, John Bejuice. Yes, they nerfed bleed.
they
My
did
swords.
nerf bleed.
I think
They
just
did
against Millennia, not in general. But
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know, like, fuck Millennia. Like, I hate that fucking fight. It's not even fun. Like, I love Elden Ring, but it's legitimately one of
thank
those
goodness
very
she's
few.
an optional super boss.
Right,
and
she
not
is an
part of
optional
the
boss, but she's also one of those rare Souls bosses that is like legit. There's legitimately nothing fun about her. Like, it's not an enjoyable fight. She is difficult to the point of thinking like Miyazaki has just got to be fucking trolling us at this point. Like, Josh, you look like you were in complete agreement.
A complete agreement, you said?
Yeah, agreement. Yeah.
Yes, no, 110%. Millennia's right up there with the Orphan of Kos from Bloodborne.
like the Dark Lurker,
That
right? In
it's
terms of not
literally
being fun.
It's literally just where you're like, like the people who will be like, oh, it's totally manageable and there's totally a pattern, are like hitless runners, but like, with almost any boss, you can figure out the pattern. There is no pattern. Just literally be able to react to everything in an eighth of a second. Go.
Yeah.
Just perish.
Oh,
Like, that's
that sounds
You
terrible.
just have to be able to react on the spot.
Do you
to
like
everything.
the idea of rapid fire AoE attacks that heal her and
No.
track you across the arena?
So,
No, that's mean.
Like,
Amanda,
Why
I'll
would
give
you do that to me?
I'll give you some context. There are players who've tried to solo her, who have reported up to 200 losses.
Holy
Like,
moly!
it's
again,
It's the reason
optional,
why this
you
dude
don't
is
have to
such-
do
you
it.
don't have to do it.
Let Me Solo Her became such a big deal, especially because when you summon someone, they are not at their full stats.
Yeah.
They're at what, half stats across the board, I believe.
And
Yeah,
like,
as far as the
one
counting
shots
numbers?
them, doesn't he?
I mean, she can one shot you right out of the gate. Like, I just love, by the way, that Let Me Solo Her has like fan art now, and
It's
there's
so
Oh
good.
yeah, that's the stuff I'm familiar with, and I just didn't understand the context around it because I'm just not there yet.
That's what it
I've
was.
been really taking my time with this game because, you know, I want to feel confident and I love exploring, and I keep finding like weird little caves to go into, and I'm
And
like,
all
oh,
of that's
those dudes
easily
look like
the
they'll
best
be
stuff
fun.
about the game.
There's
Like,
tons of that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like-
the best part. That's what sets it apart from the other Souls games to me. is
Yeah.
all the
Right.
exploration.
You
Yeah,
are in
it's
for
really fun.
a very fun 150 hours.
Cool. Well, I've played about 30, I think so far. 29, 30 hours.
Have you beaten Godric the Grafted?
No, I haven't even beaten Margit yet.
Okay, yeah, you're not even like you're 30 hours
that.
in and you're not even starting the game yet.
No, I barely started the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I started to defeat Margit the other night. I think it was a couple nights ago, but I only went in there a few times. He's almost dead. I think maybe 1 or 2 more times and he'll be toast.
Did you get the shackle?
No, I don't have the shackle. But we will have to have a conversation because
there's an item
situation.
Yeah,
there's an item.
This is not a help Amanda through Elden Ring podcast.
I will say,
as
Amanda,
great as that would be.
All right, Amanda, get out a notepad. We're gonna start giving you a list. Okay.
I will say, Amanda, you'll love this. My son's been playing. My son has been playing Elden Ring, and we play together quite often. And just the last weekend he was with us, he came upstairs and says, "Dad, log on. Let's play some Elden Ring together." And I said, "Okay." And we partied up on PS5. And the first thing he says is, "Now I quest with my father." And I was like, "Okay." Like,
I love him so much.
I was like, "Okay, bye."
I love him.
Is your boy gonna be there when Martha and I come over?
I think I'm not sure actually. I need to check.
There's ups and downs to both ways. Just
yeah. That kid. Anyway, why don't we move on to Brittany? Brittany, what have you been playing recently?
Tell me everything.
Everything.
I'm slogging through Chrono Cross. Like I kind of like you get to a part in the story where it is kind of convoluted and weird. And
yeah, that's just Chrono Cross.
Yeah, but at least it's like fun, and then it just kind of loses interest, I think, once you turn into Surge again. And so I'm finally at Terra Tower. I'm doing that.
Oh, so you're right at the end.
Yeah. I'm pretty much right there. Doing Terra Tower. So I didn't realize that doing the rainbow equipment was such a fucking tedious thing.
It is.
Like,
yep.
It's almost not even worth it. Like
it's really not. Like
all the items that you get, essentially, it's the end of the game. Like, and there's no end game bosses unless you do a New Game Plus, in which you do Ozzy Flea and Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not even going to bother. I was going to just because I've been doing like everything, but I'm not even going to bother. And I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, actually.
Ooh.
The new going in because of no build?
Yeah, yes, actually, yes.
Which
doesn't make me any better of a player. I still fucking
which
rocks.
No.
Which Fortnite skin are you rocking, Britt?
The one I posted the other day, I was rocking Ariana Grande for a bit, and then I switched to the Pilnock looking one with the horns.
God, this fucking video game, man. Like, I don't even play it.
Listen, I've said it on more than one occasion. I know it's like the thing is to clown like Fortnite is a bad game. Fortnite has never really been a poorly made game. It's just all the issues that came around it. But the game, it got as successful as it did, not just because of streamers, but because it had a solid concept. My thing is just like I played with my kids several times. And I've even got a victory royale that I pulled out on my own as the last surviving person. I will take that with me to my grave. But I will never be good at like the building because the building and the shoot, it's not even that. Well, yes, part of it is like, first of all, a friend of mine joked with me and pointed out that part of the reason why Fortnite is so popular with white kids is because you get to go into a random field and just gentrify it and build fucking condominiums. Out of nowhere. But second of all, like, seriously, it's even beyond that. It's like my brain, I have one part of my brain handles shooting, one part of my brain handles building. I'm good with both of those. I love building simulators and going in and like, you put me in Sim City, I'll have a fucking field day. I can't play Sim City and Call of Duty at the same time. Something isn't gonna work.
Those like
that, you know what? I'm gonna blame
the feng shui of this building is all off.
Yeah, no build is great because I don't have to worry about like climbing up to a roof or like trying to climb up to somebody else's fort. No, I can just mob in with my shotgun and just wildly start firing.
How popular is this new mode though? Because I thought like half the appeal of Fortnite was just being able to.
No, they kept it in. So
you can still do building.
No,
Yeah,
no,
they
no, 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 no. Oh, no. I know you can't. But I'm just wondering how popular this whole no build thing is.
I have
interested
friends.
to see those stats.
Yeah, I have friends that we all quit a long time ago, and we went back just for the no building mode. Like, and
Yeah,
it's
there's a
fun.
huge
Yeah.
surge of that. And not like the World of Warcraft classic, like, oh, I'm coming back. And then people dropped it like 2 weeks later when they like actually got back into it. And they're like, oh, the reason I left is the such and such. No, like.
Is that
like
bacon or plantain? I can't tell. Bacon?
What is that,
Classy as
Derek?
fuck.
I have,
All right, he's bacon boy tonight.
I want some
I
fucking bacon.
Is that bacon or a plantain?
Yeah, you've never had
yeah.
a fried plantain before?
I have.
Look at Derek.
But that
He's eating
doesn't look
bacon,
like-
Josh.
Yes, I understand, but I was looking at. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. It
Anyway,
didn't
so
look
yeah,
like a
Chrono
plantain,
Cross-
and also
Chrono
that's
Cross
just a
and Fortnite.
question.
It's
Maybe I
an important
like
question.
plantains,
Look, it's an important question,
Josh.
Britt and I both said Josh at the exact same time. It was really strange. Continue, please continue. Josh is now officially.
Stereo.
Josh has
No,
zipped
you
his
can't
lips.
lip seal because now it's your turn to tell us what you've been playing.
Actually, it
okay,
is
that's
Josh.
fine. That's fine. I'm good with that. So
Talk about RPGs. Talk about RPGs. Talk about.
Well,
RPGs.
I'm going to. Well,
Sweet.
tactical RPG for one, because so I tried it out on stream. Like I got provided the code by Sega a couple weeks ago. I never got to check out 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim when it first dropped.
Oh, good man.
So I've been playing the Switch version because I got a
Good
code of
man.
that. That game is so good.
It's very good.
Josh,
It's
you
so
need
good.
to
How much have you
immediately
played?
DM me and yell at me about this game. I love this game beyond.
I
Word.
shout out about this game.
It's so
Surprisingly
gay.
good gay representation
It's so gay.
For-
I knew you were going to bring it
Which
up,
game?
and literally
for
13
a,
Sentinels.
for a Japanese made like heavily anime inspired game, which is usually really regressive in regards to queer themes, to have a very prominent gay main character and gender fluid like major character is really cool.
I loved
Yo,
it.
Can I just say, one of the things I loved when I saw the whole thing, what was his name? Hichiyama? I'm blanking on the actual. Yes, the whole thing where he's like, no, wait, no, what? It's a her. No, it's a boy. He finds out, and then he's still just. Yeah, but why are you still dressed like that?
good.
Well, you like it, and he's just actively flustered with pink cheeks, and I'm like, it's adorable that he's like, I don't care, I'm still attracted to this person.
I also
It's
want to
fine.
shout out Miwako, who is one of the major
Yes.
supporting NPCs, who is clearly like a bigger
Yes.
girl. In a game where everybody's
I
drawn
love
mostly the same,
her.
she's the only one drawn with like noticeably thicker thighs, a little bit of a heavier build.
Ooh, we love a thick thigh in this.
we
They
do
save
love
lives.
thick thighs.
They save lives.
We
They
do
They absolutely
make
save
excellent
some fucking
earmuffs, but Miwako is like a heavier set girl, and it's not important.
It's
Like
just there.
nobody makes
just
fun of her
there.
about it. Nobody
No.
pushes her about it. She
She's
clearly loves
cute.
food, but like and she's excellent. She's pure. She's a cinnamon roll
Miwako should be protected at all costs.
at all
yeah.
costs.
We all just talk. I mean, the game is fucking gorgeous too. Like
beautiful.
Vanillaware knows how to make a fucking beautiful video game, but holy shit.
And I had a whole
Let's get
conversation
Chrono
about
Cross-
that.
or Chrono Trigger in that.
Like, one of the things that's great about it is, oh, it's a puppo. One of the things that's great about it is that art style is going to last forever.
And
It is.
ever.
Yes.
And there was a whole thing, if I could just tangent real quick before I give my other answer of what I've been playing. There was a whole thing floating around Twitter recently where it was like, everyone's like, your most cancelable take of this, your most cancelable take of that. And they were like, what's your most cancelable video game takes? And I didn't post it, but I legit wanted to just like get on there and be like, hey, you know how so often companies put like with AAA titles want these super realistic graphics? They never age well. Like, we may just be getting into the point where they age well, and Lord knows what that's going to look like in 5 years. Like, and what I mean by that is like Spider-Man Miles Morales. Some of those cutscenes, like you see sweat coming out of individual pores. Like that, I can't see that not aging well. But if you take any game generation, the games that are like the realistic graphics, they don't age well. The games that are hyper aesthetic do.
That's where
Zelda
weirdly,
Twilight Princess on GameCube, Zelda Wind Waker will last forever.
I was gonna say, weirdly, you go to something like Final Fantasy 13, right, which is like a 360 era game. A lot of games from that era are gonna age pretty poorly. Yes, I know a stupid amount of money was put into that, but a lot of why I think it still can hold up visually is that it's
very stylized.
Realistic. There is a stylization to it.
Exactly.
Like Square has really figured out with stuff like Final Fantasy where to blend stylization with realism to keep
you can do real life. It doesn't all have to be cartoony, but being stylized. They had bright colors. They had areas that were
people's
very bright.
eyes
Greens
and faces
by
are not built exactly like real people's faces. They're ever so slightly anime-ish, like, you know.
And then in the character designs, it's like you have no one's wearing even Lightning. She is probably the most plain, and it's a bright white. It's not like a dark black outfit that's drowning everything out. There's bright colors. You know, you go back to FF8, that looks like nuclear horse piss now.
Let's not talk about Final Fantasy VIII poorly right now because I'll fight somebody. I've had enough beer.
So
no,
let me
I'm
tell you
talking
about how.
The looks. I won't even get into that because I think there's some nuance about the game, but the looks, it doesn't know. But FF9 will always look great. FF9 will always look great because it had that style. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, one of the things I love about this game is, like, you have the walking around segments, which are gorgeous. And then you have the actual combat segments, which are super minimalistic.
I love it.
I kind of really love it. Like you have the little graphic pop-up of like the attack going off if you sit there on the menu, but the actual attacks, it's quick, it's fast, it's in a hurry, you're just focusing on boom, 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 and it makes the combat, it's still tactical, but I've got enough that I'm focusing on because it's real time. Get rid of the goddamn the animations. Let me focus on this right now. It's wonderful.
I love the tactical elements in this game.
The thing that I really felt about it when I played it, like the combat aspect, I got some real, like, the whole having to move the targeting of attacks and the strategy element. It's not exactly the same because it's real time to a degree and all that, but very Zone of the Enders, Fist of Mars on the GBA.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a good thing to me. In addition, I just saw apparently today they dropped Shining Force 2 on the Genesis NSO. So I'm going to start that today. Yeah, it's apparently just went live today. If you go you have to, if you go start it, it won't jump. You have to actually go to the app and click update. It'll push the update. You can go play it right.
The first Shining Force is better.
They dropped Shining Force 2, Space Harrier 2, and something else.
I wish Alicia Dragoon would get some fucking love. That game fucking ruled.
I'm gonna be starting on that, but the other thing is, you know, for all my, I'm a Yakuza kind of guy.
And now you're speaking Derek's language.
Oh, Derek and I yes, there is much Yakuza love here.
Let's focus on that. Go on, Derek, and you could.
Derek and I could do some things to Yakuza. We might have to call in Mr. Masochist for this one. I've been going back through. Lost Judgment was my game of the year last year. It was my game of the year. And I know there were so many good games that came out. Lost Judgment was my game of the year because that story was incredible. So I've been going back through it because I just loved it so much. And getting into the, within the last month released Kaito Files DLC, where you play as Kaito instead of Yagami on his old. And that story is phenomenal. And I love how they it feels like him. His fighting styles feel like him. Instead of having all the tools for detective work, it's like you have a good sense of smell. You have a good sense of hearing. You're just instinct based. You're based on your gut. You just go from the hip. It all feels like Kaito mechanically. Like RGG Studios might be my #1 individual studio at this point. Like,
still want a binary domain sequel.
I do. I very much do. But they don't miss. They find ways to weave story and mechanics into each other, and it's just beautiful. And I can't wait for the inevitable Like a Dragon sequel because, oh my god, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
All right, Derek, what are you playing, bud? Let's wrap this segment up so we can jump into our first topic.
Sorry for taking forever.
Yeah, apologize, Jot. No,
I'm
dude, it's
sorry.
Fine.
I've been up to a couple of things. I played and beat, because it wasn't a terribly long game, Not for Broadcast, which I was actually, our buddy Zach Robertson brought it to my attention.
That sounds vaguely not safe for work.
Yeah.
It's not, but like it's not an accurate depiction of what I used to do for my job in television before my promotion, but like it gets you the idea of what working in the control room's like. But it's an interesting little like satirical take on like British politics, and it starts with you're basically working at a television like news station on the news broadcast as an authoritarian regime takes over and eventually wants to encroach more and more on that. And I really liked a lot of that. The thing I didn't like is it's an authoritarian leftist regime, and it tries to do the like South Parky thing of where like extreme right and extreme left are very bad, and the right are racist and homophobic and all this stuff, and all that's accurate. But the left wing is going to go too far, right?
It Bioshock Infinites it, yeah.
You know, so like it's a fun game, but like I think at this point,
too.
Yeah,
like their first game was interesting because it was about being a reporter.
Yeah. But like it kind of sucks, and it's apparently a pretty left-wing team, so it's kind of sucky to see them feel the need to do this centristy, both sides are bad and extreme kind of shit, like just to appeal to a broader audience. Maybe, I don't know.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
that's actually a shame because I was planning on playing the game.
I don't know. Like it's fun and it's funny. It's genuinely very funny, but I cringed a little bit at its politics from time to time. So then I started replaying Tales of Vesperia because I've needed a good JRPG comfort food, and Tales of Vesperia felt like, you know what? I loved that back on the Xbox 360. I'll pick up the definitive edition. I never got to experience any of the new content. I think it's an excellent JRPG that any JRPG fan would love. If you do pick it up and play it, don't do English audio. Don't, because they had to record new lines for all the new content, and they couldn't always get the same voice actors back.
Oh, no. So it's like a Tales of
the
Vesperia.
New content is mixed in throughout the game. It's not like a post game. So you're just randomly switching between voice actors sometimes, and it sucks, but just do Japanese.
That's the same shit that happened in Tales of Vesperia remaster.
That's what I said, Tales of Vesperia. That's what I'm playing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Thanks for listening.
Sorry, no,
John,
I was getting our
zone out entirely.
No, I was getting our shit ready for the next segment, so I know what I'm talking about.
I'm just giving you
Shut up, man.
But yeah, so that, and then also, and I don't think we're gonna get to like the comfort game segment, so I'll go ahead and say it here. I've been playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on the side.
I love that.
Really,
I've never
Roller
played
Coaster Tycoon Classic, which is
I've never
like
played a single one of
and
those.
2 together. Roller Coaster Tycoon
so
Classic
good.
is $20, John, and it is so good. It's everything from 1 and 2.
Glorious.
It's the best package in the franchise. What a wonderful! I can put that on and have like a movie going, and I only barely have to pay attention to Roller Coaster Tycoon at this point. It's just therapy to like build the park and manage it and hit the goals and just
Me at Theme Hospital.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing.
That sounds really nice.
Also, Derek, you're coming to visit soon. I can't wait.
I sure am, bud.
You and Martha are coming.
Memorial Day
where's
weekend.
my invite?
Britt, you are literally welcome anytime you want. You know this.
Same
You
up
should
here.
come-
Martha would lose her mind if she got to meet you in person. So
Oh, that's
Britt, you
right.
should-
You were glad she couldn't come last time.
yeah, because I was gonna be in danger. It's
Yeah.
still
Britt, you
true.
should come. Britt, you should come when Derek and Martha are.
Maybe.
You should next month. Absolutely. We'd fucking love to have you. So we've got 2 major topics tonight. Both of them revolve around Nintendo. Now, Derek, do we hit the bad stuff first or the good stuff first?
Bad stuff
Probably
first.
bad
Serious
stuff
stuff
first? Yeah.
Serious
All right.
stuff
Let's hit the
first.
serious stuff first. So, Derek, do you want to kick us off on the serious stuff here?
Yeah. So it started with, and there's been some various updates to this, but it started with a complaint being lobbied against Nintendo for supposedly firing somebody, basically in regards to like anti-union action as a contractor, if I remember correctly, not a full-time employee.
Yeah.
And this contractor made a lot of accusations about like being overly surveilled while at Nintendo, which I can tell you from personal experience is 100% true. Those fuckers can see every text message you send.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
I've heard the tales. I've heard the tales.
Yeah. A lot of but broadly, just like they treat their contractors like shit. They're firing them for both having unrealistic expectations in regards to their job, violating, like I said, all kinds of labor. Like, I don't have the list in front of me, which is, I was not prepared to give the summary. So apologies if it's not as detailed. If somebody wants to like pop the article into the chat, that'd be great. But in the time since, a ton of former contractors have come out to say, hey, working at Nintendo of America sucked shit. It was an awful time. We were held to unrealistic standards. If we had to call out for health reasons, that would be like held against us, like all of the nightmare shit that can happen to you at a job situation in this United States of garbage. And then I think just earlier today, Nintendo, I think, made a response saying that the person who levied the complaint was actually fired for leaking confidential information and not for any kind of talk about unionizing. And that Nintendo is not aware of any active efforts to organize and form a union. But I mean, that's kind of the standard boilerplate response anyway. And it may completely be true that this one individual who fired the complaint was actually fired for leaking confidential information. Never be able to really know one way or another, but the number of contractors who have come forward with their individual stories saying that their time at Nintendo sucked is like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter about this one guy because floodgates are open and people say it was garbage. I think one of the things that the angle on this conversation I would like to have, and see how you all feel in regards to this, is I know a lot of people's immediate reaction. I'm stumbling over so many words tonight. It's probably the beer. But,
that's fine.
Or the bacon.
Fine. Have some more.
Yeah.
Or because Amanda's here.
Yeah. I'm just surrounded by so many lovely people. Just complete bisexual disaster here.
Same at all times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, I think if your reaction is to go, okay, shit, well, Nintendo sucks and I'm not going to get Nintendo games. Like, I hate to break it to you, this is the tech industry.
Welcome to
whole.
every
This isn't the
video
gaming
game
industry.
developer.
This is the tech industry. It, in fact, is not really just the tech industry. Like, I think sometimes people, especially people who are in long-term, full-time employment with an employer who is not completely fucking them, will hear these stories and be like, wow, this place sucks. But the thing is, these kind of allegations being made against Nintendo, that sounds like a lot of what I've heard from contract workers at damn near any tech company in North America.
Well, also look at the way Nintendo goes after after leakers, for example, right? Like, and I'm not even talking about people who work for Nintendo. I'm talking about just people who come across whatever Nintendo related information that turns out to be true. Nintendo will fucking literally send, like, I've heard a lot of the sentiment online today is that I can't believe Nintendo would do this. Like, it's the House of Mario.
That's
and I'm like, guys,
funny to me because Nintendo's been known to be extremely
corporations.
Nintendo,
right?
Yes. Yeah. Corporations are not your friend, but also like Nintendo has been known to be extremely litigious. And
they will
extremely paranoid.
They will ruin your fucking life.
This is known
over like, hey, here's Splatoon 3's release date, or like, they will lose you your fucking house if they can. Like, I love Nintendo games; they're my favorite developer out of the big three. But at the same time, like Amanda just said.
Don't stand corporations.
And Amanda, you see more of this than we do because you actually have a podcast about this kind of shit.
It's true, with a full labor report and everything every week.
So
we're just ding dongs that talk about subjects that cross our line from a leftist perspective, but
Amanda, you like what is your spin on this, Amanda? Because you actually, like I said, have a fucking podcast about this shit. Like, we're just a bunch of yokels who talk about video games. Like, you know what you're talking about here. Like I know this is no surprise to you, but like, but now that this has like come to light, where do we go from here?
forward, quite frankly. And the only way to go forward is to hold corporations accountable. And part of holding corporations accountable is getting really, really loud. It is getting really loud because we're seeing it work with people like J.K. Rowling and her latest movie, tanking.
Did it? I didn't know.
Oh my God.
It tanked hard.
Its first, what was
Yeah.
it? Its first week was worse than like the third week for Lost City.
Yeah,
It's bad.
It bombed. It's a bomb.
That could
It's
be
very
because of the
bad.
Johnny Depp stuff too.
It could be any amount of things,
Yeah.
and whatever is leading to its lack of success is
Either way,
probably a-okay.
It's for the good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I feel like what this means for Nintendo is that they can no longer, that no corporation can hide behind its own supposed altruism and its own outward facing wholesomeness, because you don't know what lies underneath. You don't know what the workers are going through because they are not allowed to talk about it for a number of different reasons. Whistleblowing is very difficult. It puts you in the crosshairs, your family in the crosshairs. It's dangerous to be a whistleblower, and not everybody is up to that task. So honestly, for the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board here in the United States, and remember, I'm Canadian, so I'm still learning how all of this works, but my understanding of it is that because there was whispers of a union, that's why the NLRB got involved. Because if there was union busting and there was union blocking, like, that's a problem. That's an enormous problem.
Which is kind of funny when like that sort of thing can still happen very blatantly out in the open, like.
But it's done quietly.
Yeah, but like I just
like
remember
what Activision is doing with Raven Software's QA team.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
Right?
like, look at Amazon and the first attempts to organize at Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Down in, was it in Georgia?
It might have been.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And it was like the anti-union stuff was being done like as blatantly and out in the open as possible, and it can be very frustrating to see that stuff just kind of get to happen.
So
Yeah.
I want to bounce off something Amanda said about whistleblowing real quick, because I don't think people understand just how mentally taxing it can be to be a whistleblower. Like we're supposed to have laws that protect whistleblowers, but like I'll use myself.
Unless you're in California, though,
Right.
those whistleblower protection acts are not great from my
Well,
understanding
but
of
All
those
laws
laws.
are handshake agreements.
But they don't do
Burn it
any.
down.
They don't do anything elsewhere. Like I am nowhere near the video game industry. And I was a whistleblower on about something in 2016, and I, not to get too deep, but like I dealt with suicidal thoughts because I experienced retaliation on a scale that almost led me to just quit my entire career. Whistleblowing is not easy. It's not fun. It doesn't fuck the laws. You will get retaliated against.
Oh, definitely.
And so nobody retaliates against you like fucking like big ass corporations like Nintendo. They will ruin your fucking life. They'll take your house. They'll take your money over stupid shit. Like
And
hey,
in
there's an
this
emulator. There's an emulator that's coming, and they will ruin you.
They will. And I mean, we've reported on it quite a bit on Virtual Economy, talking about Gary Bowser being our only, 3-time Fuck Around and Find Out award winner. I think he's the only person to ever win that award 3 times. So that's like our weird little segment where we're just like, y'all, maybe you shouldn't fuck around because sometimes you'll find out that was a small person.
That was a small person that just ran into and he was like, "Oh my God, we're live!" And he just like ran out of the cameras. That was great. That was
really
that was
cute.
fantastic. That was fucking awesome.
Well, like I can't talk about some of the shit that I had to do to make sure that I didn't lose everything I had to Nintendo when I left. Like, I just can't.
No,
I can't talk about any of the circumstances of me leaving because, like, even now, if I say much of anything in terms of details, like, I could get fucked now, and it's like 6 years later. So
Right.
Big brother Bowser's watching right now.
The big issue around this is that it's not even that Nintendo will just take your material means; they'll destroy your reputation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's part of what they're doing here is being like, oh, well, this person wasn't fired because of this reason. It was actually a completely different reason.
Which is
and
bullshit.
Yes,
actually
that's
on
literally
them.
what
bullshit.
happened to me, because a lot of people who did know anything about what happened to me, which again, I cannot get into much detail about, like, were told a completely different story that made me look like a huge asshole and a complete idiot. And it was like, no.
Well, there's a bunch of
That
tricks
sucks.
companies do for
And I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
One of Amazon's techniques that they used for one of the people who was trying to set up a union with them, a woman who was doing it, was straight up, they literally reassigned her to a job or to a position and then said, okay, you got this, to a different position. She's like, okay, but this position's work with two people. Who am I working with? No, you're doing it by yourself.
Wasn't that on Last Week Tonight?
And so now,
One
yes.
week? That was
Yes,
an
it
excellent
was,
story.
yeah.
So now it's like, okay, but I can't do that. So now they can write you up for not fulfilling the tasks of the
Yeah.
role you're doing
There's all kinds
because you're
of
not
fucking
getting
tricks.
it out. It's exactly. There's way they can put their thumb on the scale. And they have the money that there's the old thing. A fine
power.
is if the only penalty for a crime is a fine, it's only a crime for the poor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
God,
Absolutely.
it's a
That's what it
great
is.
thing
Really
I didn't
well
want to
said,
stay
actually.
involved in like marketing at all, because if I did, yeah, I'd be ruined. So
That's entirely what it is. If the only penalty is a fine, it's only a crime for the poor. Because the rich are just gonna, like with them, their way of viewing it is, I mean, sure, I could go ahead and
it's an
like
expensive
let this
parking
union
ticket.
happen, or I could pay to bust the union because I'm looking at how much money it will cost me if I have to deal with union and how much that is, and that's more expensive to me. It's bullshit,
So-
but it's what they do.
So here's my question, right? Like, we're finally hopefully seeing like some change at Activision Blizzard, especially with the news of Microsoft purchasing them.
Maybe and hopefully we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
not-
see. Like things
Not
are
guaranteeing
like,
shit.
I'm gonna try to remain positive about
DOJ
that
is
situation.
definitely circling.
They are, and I am still not convinced that sale will actually go through. But
I'm
I am
not certain
hoping.
either. But
I
it's a
am-
concern I raised at the very beginning where I said regulators are going to have their eyes on this, and there's no
We
way
said the
around
exact
that.
same thing, Amanda. We said the exact same thing that the DOJ is looking at this and going, I don't know. And they take this shit seriously over there.
Right.
Like,
More
But-
and
Weirdly
more.
enough, the thing that may save the acquisition is xenophobia. Like, it may literally
Yeah.
just be that they go, well, if Microsoft doesn't buy them, they could get bought up by, one of these Chinese-owned firms that are making moves in. And man, there's nothing that the DOJ quite loves like some good old-fashioned
Yeah.
anti-Asian xenophobia. So
That's
So-
a fact.
so here's my question. How much would a public pressure campaign actually do against a company like Nintendo? Like, because they are famous for just straight up not giving a fuck about that shit.
No, I don't think there's any moving this need. Like, I mean, if we're talking about what's the next step is to hold them accountable and get loud. But that doesn't mean that they'll actually do anything. That
Right.
doesn't mean that they'll actually change. What's going to have to happen is that, folks that are, so lawmakers are going to have to get more stringent around what is considered union busting and what is considered, anti-worker. And this whole country needs to remove at-will employment.
yes,
Another huge
Yes.
thing that needs to happen.
Yep.
Again, as the Canadian here, at-will employment is not something I was super familiar with until I moved here. So we don't have that. We have a 3-month probationary period in Canada. And if you don't end up gelling, like you and your employer don't end up gelling within that 3 months, your employer can be like, y'all, this isn't working. I think you're great, but this just doesn't work for us. So like no hard feelings, but 3 months is
Classic
up.
Canadian
gonna
let
work.
go.
Yeah. It's like, this isn't going to work. After that, it's a real process to get rid of someone. Like you can't just be like, all right, you're done for no cause. That's not a thing. You can lay someone off or you can fire them with cause. If you lay them off, they get employment insurance, right? If you fire them with cause, it has to be well documented and it has to be essentially 3 strikes and you're out, unless it's theft or violence. Those are the things where it's like one and done. But that's actually something that does need to happen here. If we want to see better conditions for workers, employers need to stop holding all of the keys and all of the power. The workers do need more power. And the way that we do that is we get rid of at-will employment.
Yeah. It's really quite frustrating to see all of these labor issues, to see stuff like what's going on in Activision Blizzard, to see the nation drag its feet in regards to, for example, rampant wage theft in the retail industry. But
also get rid of contract workers entirely.
That too.
Please, yes.
No independent
Jesus.
contractors.
Stop abusing contract workers.
It's real great. All of these obvious horrible things can happen, and nothing gets moved on. But Disney can be like, maybe we've been pressured into not donating to the anti-gay campaigns, and in like 2 weeks, Florida can be like, fuck you particularly. Like, y'all can really make movements when you want to.
When you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corporations really can make more than just money moves. They can make culture moves, and they can do it for the good of humanity. It's like when Mike and I have talked about, especially Microsoft, and how people are like super all about Microsoft, we tend to caution them. We're like, listen, where we are today is corporate strategy and consumer sentiment are like this, right? They are merged. They are happy. Everybody's on the same page. There's no guarantee that happens forever. Satya Nadella could leave. Bill Spencer could leave. And then they have to, figure out from their exec team. Honestly, it would be Sarah Bond, please. Sarah Bond would take over because Sarah's amazing. But a corporation doesn't do anything altruistically. Corporate strategy, consumer sentiment.
Yeah.
Don't simp corporations.
Yeah,
Don't
like that's don't love
I don't care how cute they are. Don't do it.
Do not confuse corporations for the artists that work there.
And for your favorite social media managers.
Yeah, that
right.
too.
Yeah. Although I know some excellent social media managers for some big corporations. Like
definitely.
So fucking cool.
It feels like it's kind of a career path for a lot of folks in our various corner of gaming.
It's actually really weird.
I feel like right? I could be.
The gaming podcaster to PR pipeline is kind of.
I feel like I could be
a circle. Like it's almost a circle.
I could be a really good social media manager.
No.
John,
I love you, but dear God, no.
No? Why, Derek, why do you say that? Why do you say
John,
such things?
I love you to death. Your Twitter is the worst part about you.
Wow.
My Twitter is like moo pics.
We all know that's not entirely true, but we'll move on.
Me getting mad at Nazis.
Let me put it this way. I think it's incredible when people get the chance to actually talk to you and be reminded of the full person that you are. But I digress. I can say that as
you
your
are
bestie.
A beautiful human.
You are.
Anyway.
I love you so much.
Anyway. Time to...
Anyway, thanks for listening to me wax poetic about
we needed that.
Like I said, what was it just on the last show? In order to fix video games, we must first solve capitalism. Like,
yeah.
Well,
just a small thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nintendo-related things like leaks, for example, we had some very big leaks happen this week.
You think it was this dude that leaked it? If Nintendo says that
I don't, maybe like who knows?
Hand in hand.
I mean, I can't think of anything else Nintendo that's been leaked if they're going to blame this guy for disclosing confidential information. But here's what we got for Nintendo leaks. So recently, it leaked that Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and we know this because somebody data mined an emulator that was present on a Switch dev kit, and there were some questions initially as to whether or not this was real. But I did some digging, and this is a timely time. It's interesting that we just had this discussion about Nintendo like going after people, because most of the tweets that have been posted about this leak have been
taken down, and entire Twitter accounts have vanished. And so look, it's real. And also, reputable sources have said that Nintendo was having tweets about the emulators taken down, which essentially which is funny because all that does is confirm what we already know. Nintendo, I mean, come on, it's all you guys are doing is just confirming the shit by doing that, right? So Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games, and I would assume Game Boy Color games as well, are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. At this point, it's just a matter of when. Now, there was a list that was leaked about GBA games specifically that had been tested on this service. Now, this doesn't mean that all of them are necessarily coming to Nintendo Switch Online, but there are a lot of games on there that you would 100% expect to see. And I'm talking things like Astro Boy, for example, right? Like Omega Factor, or Super Wario Land 4, or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. All of the really good GBA games that you would expect are coming here. My question is, when do we think this is coming? Because if it's present on Switch dev kits right now, you'd have to imagine that it's pretty fucking soon. I don't feel like this is something that's too far off.
It could be like a late summer thing. I don't know.
Well, here's my other question: do they lock this behind another paywall?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so?
I think they put it in with the expansion pass, if anything.
Game Boy with the regular, Game Boy Advance with the expansion pass.
Or they might throw Game Boy onto Game Boy onto the base, Game Boy Advance on expansion pass, as I was about to say.
So I can see that being a good way to do it.
Because they've been especially when the expansion pass first came out, the thing was, it's like, here's the Animal Crossing DLC, and it's like, okay, are you going to add value to this? And then also with the games, we saw what happened with NES, we saw what happened with SNES. You're like, here's some games, and then we'd go 3 months, and then we'd finally get fucking Bombusel.
Jelly Belly 2 or whatever the fuck these.
Okay. So, then they did the expansion pass, the booster pass, the Mario Kart 8 booster pass got thrown on there, and they've been sticking to a roadmap with N64 games and dropping legit ones on there, as well as like what I said earlier with Genesis. They've been throwing some good Genesis games on there too. I think they're gonna really try, especially with Sony now getting into this PS Plus premium and all that, and packaging in PS Now. Well. They need to put more value into the expansion pass to keep customer retention.
Amanda, you wanted to say something. Go ahead, please.
I think that Nintendo has to worry about competing with Sony like that. Sony's deal is bad.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, well, especially
Sony's
since we don't know enough about it.
From the things that we know about, just in terms of pricing, the pricing is not even remotely as inclusive as Nintendo's. Nintendo is already, in that particular regard, does take care of families and does take care of, that expansion pass is so brilliant. I love that expansion pass so much.
So I will say, when I say they're doing it to add value, I don't think they fear Sony.
No one should.
No, Jesus.
I don't think they fear Sony. They know we have our own lane. We're not going anywhere. We have a stable of IPs that we can ride until the sun burns out. Okay? They're not worried at all. But between Nintendo and Sony's history, you know that they've got that little bit of petty of being like, oh, check out this PS Plus Premium. Yeah, that's great. That's a wonderful thing. Hey, here's GBA for all you people who got the expansion pass. Have a fucking good one.
Yeah, no, I could see that, yeah.
There's that pettiness in them.
Totally see
of all companies towards Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. And now
honestly, me towards Sony, quite frankly.
If correct me if I am wrong, but part of the leaked information was also some more titles for the NES collection, correct? And it was a lot of big third-party NES stuff like Mega Man and Castlevania.
So I've got a kind of a list here. I saw Rygar, Shadow of the Ninja, Scat, which that name will never not make me laugh. Crystallis, which is a great fucking NES game. Like if you've never played Crystallis, that game fucking rules. There's some Mega Man games, although were the Mega Man games not already available on Switch Online? Like the old school NES games?
No.
I don't think
really?
so.
Interesting.
Pretty much none of the third.
I think it was in like the Mega Man collection, right? That was released a handful of years ago.
But not on the Nintendo Switch Online. No.
What else? What else was on here? A Spelunker. I mentioned Rygar Nightshade, and there's like different versions of numerous Mega Man games. Load Runner, Castlevania. So yeah, like, and again, like there is. This doesn't mean that any of these games are going to release, right? It just means that they've been tested on the system. Although I would like. What's interesting about this whole deal is somebody did some digging into the like, for example, into the Game Boy Advance emulator, and we're actually able to play some of these games. These games, this doesn't mean a whole lot right now, but these games are games that you download, not that you actually. So that could change.
Premium sales.
So that's interesting to me. Now that could just be a means of testing the game.
I don't
on
like
the
idea
kit.
of a subscription where you have extra purchases on top of these subscriptions.
Well, no, what it does is remind me.
Hey.
So again, like that doesn't mean that you're actually going to be able to do that. That could just be a way that they are testing these games on a Switch dev kit. However, it does sound a whole lot like the Virtual Console, doesn't it?
Oh, I got it backwards. I thought, but you're right, because the games are downloaded onto your system.
No, but you don't actually pick them from your Switch menu, is what I'm saying.
I see.
That's what that.
I was
see what
wrong
I'm saying?
a second time.
You were, Derek, but I forgive you. But
You're never wrong. You were just mistaken.
I will always forgive you, Derek. But no, so these games on these on this emulator, this GBA emulator that people have data mined, are games that you download. Now that could just be them, again, like I said, testing them on a Switch dev kit, but it does sound like what the Virtual Console did. I'm not saying that the Virtual Console is coming back, but I did find that very interesting. I just don't know what it means. I don't know how much that actually means in the long run.
I'd assume the Virtual Console is coming back just because of Nintendo's dedication to preservation.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're big on that.
They are.
I have so many angry thoughts about that.
So no, let's hear them,
shutting down
man,
the
please.
3DS
I would
eShop.
love. I
One
would
of my
love to hear
favorite
them.
fucking things was we're shutting down the 3DS eShop. What about the games that are locked on there? We have no plans for those games.
Yeah.
No.
Eat shit.
Them
That's
and
what.
Sony.
Lie to
Them
me.
and Sony.
To be
Lie to me.
fair,
Don't tell me you have no plans. Lie.
I don't know how well those games would translate to a system with one screen.
Better than you think.
I'm just gonna put it this way.
Look at Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Something like
Yeah, but they had to
Switch.
remake that.
This is a touch screen.
The world ends with you.
You're telling me they can't figure out an emulator that puts one screen on the left, one screen on the right?
No.
That's too hard.
I love how earnest Amanda looked right there. Like I know you're not, but
Like,
you
I'm
look
not trying
like,
to be a dick about it. This is a fucking touchscreen. And you understand
I
the
know.
upsell there is they can literally be like, and if you go, like, just like they sell the NES controllers, the SNES controllers, the N64 controllers, if you go on Nintendo.com, log into your My Nintendo account, you can order the official 3DS kit with the dongle and official stylus, or whatever the fuck that they charge $47 for.
And 76 cents.
Exactly.
Right.
And you know
That
what? I'll buy
all-important
it.
76
Like I
cents.
spent the $7 on those damn keychains. Why? Because I'm a simp.
We just talked about this,
We
Josh.
did. We did just
Don't-
have the conversation.
don't sim for
I'm not trying to, but I'm saying there's things where my nostalgia will beat me. But the point is, like, it's a choice. It is a choice. Because there's so many games on there that you don't even need heavy touchscreen control for, to where you can be like, well, the screen wasn't meant to interact that much. Okay? Yeah, because on Fire Emblem, everybody played it with the stylus.
Although I
Right.
will say it's a
That was the
little
thing? I definitely didn't.
I will say it's a little funny for us to be like, don't sip for corporations. Take it from us, the Square Enix official influencers. But
Hey, we've said when Square Enix games are bad. We're honest.
that's true. That's
Don't
true.
sip for
We
corporations.
just talked about how
Sega
Chrono Cross ran
doesn't
like dog
count.
shit. Like
That's true.
We are appreciated for our
simp respectfully.
constructive criticisms.
My criticisms are nothing if not constructive, Derek. You know this. This
We
is
leave
known.
the constructive stuff at the front because people only check the first 20-ish minutes of the podcast.
Absolutely.
John,
And
you're
don't listen to what's happening at past hour
The
one.
shitting comes later. Go ahead,
leave it to
Josh.
CJ, he's really good to.
My
is good.
criticisms are constructive. John's criticism is literally just, I'm gonna construct some shit to put on this take because this game fucking sucks.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong. I do that for people too, though.
Yes,
so,
that's fair. But it's part of why we love you.
But
A game could be actually bad, and John will be like, "It's the font that makes it bad."
It is.
John,
It is
you have the
fucking
strongest
font. Like,
opinions
no,
about
come on.
fonts.
You can't fucking sit there and tell me that if you're playing the Pixel remasters on a Switch and you're looking at that skinny
hippos
ass
are
font.
not a lot. It's not just the pixel remasters, man. You've brought up the fonts on a lot of fucking
Fonts
games.
are fucking important, dude. Like you have to fucking read
Former
this shit.
designer, yes, fonts are important.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Like,
gonna start-
finally, some fucking validation on this goddamn podcast. People
I'm
talking
gonna
about.
find John's address and I'm gonna start mailing him letters.
I'll
And
send you my
every-
address, you fucking coward. Do it.
I'll give it
I
to
have
you.
your phone number. I'll text you and ask.
You have my phone number. Why don't you do it?
Okay, but I'm gonna start mailing you letters in like every non-standard font. Like you're not getting
Good,
Times
good, I
Roman,
hope
you're
you
not
do.
getting Verdana. Okay, you're gonna get like U Gothic.
That's great. No. I hope
him
you
with-
do it
hit
because
him with
then
the
I'll have your
comic
address
serif.
and you have no idea what I'm going to send back to you.
It's
I
just
hope
gonna.
you use papyrus.
Is it just gonna be a pile of shit? Is it gonna be a pile
Worse.
of moo shit?
It's yes.
Sonic
Okay, that's fair.
After I've fed her a can of Dinty
It's
Moore
gonna be
beef stew.
pictures of Moo,
Go for
but with
Joker,
Moo
then.
cut out of the photo. So
Why
you know what you're
didn't he
missing.
more?
It's just going to
Actually-
be, I'm just going to send you a
Just a beer of
jack-o'-lantern
meals.
with a knife stuck in it and a note that says you pinned to it. Like
Fun-
that's,
Fun fact
That's
about
not
the
funny.
pictures of Moo thing. This is just a complete. My boys know about Moo. I've
course they
shown
do.
them.
How
I've
could you
shown
not?
them video, and one of the things we'll randomly say when we're talking about a dog and we're pretending to play around, we'll do that. My squeak, my squeak.
oh no, Moo's
Just mess
the
with
best.
it. The boys will do that with me.
I've snuggled
Everybody-
and slept with Moo. It's great.
It's, and
Aw.
it just, I remember, one of my favorite images from Extra Life last year was Britt asleep on the big beanbag with
The
Dottie.
ladies loved the lady.
They did. It's like, Britt, it's your turn. Oh, never mind. She's asleep in the beanbag with the dogs. Like, somebody else take the controller. We don't want to wake
And
her
then
up.
we moved the beanbag in front of the TV, and Britain never left it, and she was
Yeah,
just
I know, she just
constantly
stayed in the
buried under
beanbag.
dogs.
Then you murdered Texas Pete.
Yeah.
Why do you have to
wasn't
go
me.
there, man? Like, why'd you have to?
Wasn't me.
Who did kill Texas Pete?
I think it was Derek.
Was it Derek?
Derek had
Statistically
the most
speaking, it
kills.
was me because I killed most of them.
Yeah.
The most
Derek killed
devastating-
Texas Pete and Peas.
The most devastating
Yes.
peas. The
Peas.
most devastating is still
Peas.
Calcium.
Yeah, I
Getting
killed
one shot
Calcium.
by that Mankey.
Yes. That everyone, I remember that because it was everyone just went dead ass silent.
Yeah.
Everyone was just talking and then
I
Calcium got his
screamed.
fucking-
I legitimately screamed.
Calcium got his fucking shit wrecked. Amanda's like, I have no fucking idea what's happening right now.
Amanda,
It's
they did
okay. Everyone
a,
is so beautiful here. I can just sit here. And
they
take
did
it.
just there.
a Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke for their Extra Life stream last year.
It went
And
so badly.
It was
started-
it was
I
we
killed
named-
so many Pokemon.
Derek,
we named them
My
all-
guilt will never be washed clean.
We named them all after food and condiments, and for some reason, we got oddly attached to Texas Pete.
Yeah.
I
The
don't-
Slugma.
Yeah.
Slugma balls!
Do you remember how long it took me to get it?
He had like
Britt's
a
like, oh, I don't
3-second
understand.
delay.
I had like a 2-minute delay, and then I was like, "Oh, I get it." I blame.
That probably would have been me too. I'd be like, what does that mean?
Britt was.
Explain it to
I
me.
really,
Like
I
I'm
really wanted it
5.
to be Smegma, and I like was just like,
That's where
his
you were?
name has to be like, and I was like so intent, like we have to name it Smegma. Yeah, I wanted
There's a thing happening here.
Slugma to be Smegma.
Smegma balls.
And then somebody said,
I want to repeat that this was all food.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
So you were giving a food name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I had that on the...
None of those words are in the Bible.
I love how Discord decided to shut Britt down.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So I do have a question. Hey, Dio's like, I arrive at the stream and here's Smegma.
How we're rolling tonight, apparently.
Kind of like how Josh joined the pre-show and immediately heard. So, are you aware of fellatio?
Aware of fellatio?
Fellatio.
Are you aware of fellatio?
Those are our new nicknames.
Fellatio.
Fellatio.
The
Fellatio Vespucci,
like
who
that,
invented oral sex.
From now on, this podcast is solely about fellatio and Smegma.
Aren't those the two lackeys from Ninja Turtles, the rhino and the turtle?
Yes, absolutely.
Turtle monster.
Yes. Smegma is the rhinoceros.
Those are Shredder's right and left hand man.
Fellatio
and Smegma.
Fellatio is the warthog, I believe.
Right. The warthog and rhino. There we go.
No,
Right.
Not.
Yeah, no, Smegma is absolutely the rhinoceros.
They're Bebop and Rocksteady.
Smegma is the rhino for sure.
Thank you.
So
I was like, no way.
So here's my question. Getting back to the Nintendo topic that we veered from for like 10 minutes talking
We've
about.
never gone off topic. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, it's weird. It's so uncharacteristic for us.
This is all about Pokemon.
What are we hoping to see? And so the argument has been made on this podcast before that the Game Boy Advance is actually Nintendo's best console. So what are we hoping to see?
It's in the discussion.
It is. What are we hoping to see on there?
Minish Cap.
Oh, dude, that's absolutely gonna fucking be on there. I mean, I want to see Ninja 5.0, a fucking game that is impossible to find right now. Derek, you've never played Ninja 5.0? Oh my god, dude, Ninja 5.0 is a fucking class. I guarantee you, there's people in chat.
Fuck with cops.
Dude, no, dude, it's a ninja. Okay, you can fuck with that.
Fuck with
like
ninja cops.
Dude, come on. Tell me you don't want to be a ninja cop. I would be a ninja cop.
All right,
I'm not 5.
Liquor.
I just want to be a ninja now.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's people in chat who've heard of Ninja 5.0. Ninja 5.0 is fucking fantastic. I would love to see that. I would love to see Astro Boy. If you've never played Astro Boy Mega Factor, that game fucking rules.
That game fucks.
It shouldn't, because Astro Boy is...
Honestly, I'm going to be super real with all of you right now, and I might need to be shown the door. I never owned a Game Boy Advance.
I didn't either.
Played,
I didn't either.
I haven't played many of those.
Fine.
I haven't played many of those games.
There's a lot of good
I
games
played them
that
on emulation like years later, but I was a broke child, so you know,
you can't
if I got a console,
I wish I could go back
it was
in time
for
and
all
give
of
you.
us.
I would
But-
go back in time
that's
and
the
give you a
thing,
Game Boy Advance.
That's the thing about why I love it when it's on here, because you could tell someone, well, you should emulate this. But I know me personally, I'm the same as John. I know plenty of people get into PC gaming, and there are games that are PC only that I'm going to play them on here, obviously, or whatever. Man, I just fucking like consoles.
Yeah.
My brain, I have work brain when I'm at the PC. Even like when I'm playing, I'm playing a game because I'm streaming, and that I have to be on, and it's hard for me to turn off. And there's just an association. When I'm on my TV, on my Switch, whatever, man, it's fine. So this is exactly the thing where you throw Game Boy Advance on here, man, there's some good shit on there.
And you all can just send me your list of games that you think I should play.
Both Metroid games, both Fire Emblem games, like for sure.
Oh yeah, Tactics Ogre.
My first handheld console was actually the PlayStation Portable.
Good shit.
Which is a solid fucking console.
Good shit.
I was 18 working in the oil sands in Alberta, and I was like, well, with my ill-gotten gains,
let us cling together as a fucking all-time game.
I'll tell you what, a friend of mine just started streaming it recently. I don't know if they're gonna play it the whole way through, but they was getting into it for the first time and emulating it, and I was like, God, these graphics, they hold up.
Amanda, you gotta play
so good.
Aria of Sorrow.
I have heard Aria of Sorrow is supposed to be exceptional.
Some people say it's better than Symphony of the Night.
I would say that.
I wouldn't, but it's close.
I think that would be fighting words for Mikey.
It's a top tier Castlevania game. You've got to play Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Just a delightful fucking RPG.
It's so good.
It's really good. It's hilarious too. That game is fucking
and a lot
funny.
of the humor, as it's very much so set in that time, but it still holds up. Like, there's a lot of meme references, but they still make you laugh. Also, Fawful is timeless. I don't even care.
Fawful's a great fucking character.
Fawful is timeless.
Also, like I said, Tactics Ogre Knight of Lotus is the same guys who made Final Fantasy Tactics.
I hear Tactics Ogre is great.
Tactics Ogre is fucking outstanding. And if I could recommend one more, Summon Knight Swordcraft Story. They're little known games, but there's two of them. Great little fucking JRPGs that are very reminiscent of the Fantasia games, like the old school, like Tales of Fantasia, where you're like, when you go to battle, it's like a 2D plane. Good fucking shit, and of course Golden Sun, as people are saying in chat.
Golden Sun is on my list. It's been on my list for years, but I've never played it.
Those games, and I'm gonna piss some people off here. They're great. They don't hold up as well today as you might think they do.
Well, we can just pray for a remaster then.
They're extremely wordy. They're extremely wordy. And
visual novels, John.
Well, I know that, but
for words.
But they also
I read like books for
they looked really good for their time. Visually, they haven't aged great.
I read them their words.
But story-wise, they're
Kentucky,
fantastic
but
games.
I sure can read the words.
Did anybody else have a Game Boy Advance recommendation for Amanda?
Both Kirby games are excellent.
Ooh, Amazing Mirror, yeah.
Nightmare in Dreamland is great. Amazing Mirror is great. All three Sonic Advance games are really good, and frankly, completely underappreciated and underspoken about platformers.
You know what's fucking awesome on GBA? Tony Hawk 2. That game that is one of the best Tony Hawk. It is. Like, you wouldn't think it, but it really fucking is.
Also,
it really is.
We have all these games.
Mega Man Battle Network.
I was just given our Analog Pocket, which apparently is supposed to be a... Amanda, why are you not playing these games? Have you
not fired up your Analog Pocket?
It's not mine. It's Mike's.
Steal it.
We don't share.
Yeah, see, Mike, get on the camera. Mike, get your ass in the frame, dude.
They want you to come back.
Mike, come here, Mike.
For you.
Why? This time.
No, they love you. Come back.
No, we just want to say hi.
Yo, she's saying he can't hear you.
No, he can't hear you because I have my headphones on.
Yeah, that's how.
Mike! He's very beautiful. Back over here, beautiful man.
Let's not go.
What do you mean let's not go overboard? I adore you.
The Battle Network games. You got to play the fucking. There he is.
Battle Network is so good.
There he is. Hi, Mike. Hi, buddy. It's been so long.
He can't hear you.
I know.
He can't hear you, but he loves you.
We love you too,
those were the fighting words. Was Aria of Sorrow being better than Symphony of the Night?
Oh no, I think that the Game Boy Advance games, like...
Oh, okay. I had it wrong.
I'm a huge fan of the 3 Game Boy Advance games.
I had it wrong.
See, Mike knows his shit.
Good night, but man...
Mike knows his shit.
He really does. The man schools me all the time about things that I just didn't have access to because I was little.
To be honest, I can't even push back hard on the Aria of Sorrow is the best claim because my favorite is Portrait of Ruin.
Portrait of Ruin's really good.
Charlotte.
All three of the DS games are
it's the first time you deal with fucking the Morris clan again since Bloodlines. But
I also want to point out to Amanda, if the idea of a Mega Man RPG excites you, then you've got to play the Battle Network games.
Unfortunately, I'm not a Mega Man fan.
It doesn't play like Mega Man.
It doesn't.
Network,
No.
man.
Oh my god, they literally were just talking about Battle Network.
No,
It's like
here's
we're
the
one
question. Here's the
heart,
question.
Mike. It's like we're sharing a heart.
Amanda, because I
You
know
already do
you
share a heart.
I know you check out indie games, and I think it
All
just
the
got
time.
added to Game Pass. I may be lying about this. Have you heard of One Step from Eden?
I have heard of One Step from Eden.
The way that plays, it's a spiritual successor to Battle Network, where you have like a 9x9 grid,
like a
that you
grid.
move around and you actively fight on. There's no platforming or any of that. It's like an action RPG.
It's a straight up RPG. Yeah. It's an
So
it's an
Scare
RPG.
is what you're saying? Because action RPGs go here. Same with
Yes.
strategy RPGs.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm like. It plays nothing like Mega Man. Like, if you're in it to RPGs, you should check out Battle Network.
Also, Fire Emblem Sacred
He's
Stones
literally
is a
unpacking
top
the
tier
analog
Fire
pocket right now, just so
I
that
have been meaning to hook up my handhelds at my desk. So you've just given me reason.
Tell Mike I order him to let you use the analog pocket.
you don't have to order him. He's literally setting it up for me.
Good.
No, do it. No, another one that it always gets overlooked, but it's good too, actually. Good shit. If you like the strategy RPGs, as mentioned, like I mentioned, Zone of the Enders, The Fist of Mars. You get a bit of 13 Sentinels feel from it, because like it's a strategy RPG, and when you move and then attack an enemy, you can set it either to be like automatic to where it hits or it doesn't hit or whatever based on stats. But the conceit of the game is when you went to attack, it would pull up like a targeting screen with a targeting reticle, and the enemy is moving around. And you got to try and aim to hit them, and they have a weak spot you can hit as well to like hit a critical hit or whatever. So you can choose to go full RPG with it and just be like, I'm just going to do it based off stats, or you can manually try and take control and be like, no, I want to hit every fucking time. I trust my gut here, and it's the whole thing. It's a great game. Another
I've heard
one,
very good things about it.
another one. If you like action RPGs, which you just said, the Shining Soul games.
Oh, Shining Soul 2
They're
especially is
so
really good.
fun.
Shining Soul 2 is very fun.
Just little chibi action figures just running around, fighting in dungeons.
There's
It's
actually
good
a
shit.
really good Shining Force has a really good remake on GBA as well.
It
that's actually
does.
better than
Resurrection of the
original.
Dark Dragon.
Yeah, that's a
Because
great fucking game.
it added just enough to be like it's good and it's fun without going overboard. It still feels like Shining Force.
Well, and speaking of going overboard, we are just about at our time here, I notice. Amanda, it was so good to see you again.
Thank you for having me on tonight. It was really, really fun.
And Josh, dude, you know it's always a pleasure to have you on here.
I love y'all. You know that.
I know you do. And who can blame you?
Really, I've just been making eyes at Brit all night.
Oh.
How can anyone not?
I mean, for real
DM
though.
me after the podcast.
Oh, that's slide right into your DMs, girl.
I mean, for real though. How So
Oh my
we've got
fucking God, Boktai.
So Britt and I are going to be recording this weekend our final thoughts on the Chrono Trigger remaster. Now that it sounds like Britt is going to finish it, so we will do that. And of course, all of that good Square Enix content is in fact sponsored by Square Enix. So thank you, Square, for the codes for Chrono Trigger or for Chrono Cross once again. I almost said
One
Chrono
of
Trigger
their
there. I would
games.
love some codes for Chrono Trigger on modern day console, Square, if you want to go ahead and make that happen for everyone. And of course, we have all kinds of good content coming for you guys as well. Does anybody have any? Oh, let's toss it out in chat here real quick. We got a Discord. If you are already not in our Discord, I highly recommend you join. We are super wholesome and we value positivity, inclusivity, and mental well-being. So please join our Discord. We also have a store where you can pick up shirts and hoodies and mugs and all that good stuff. They're super comfortable. I'm not just saying that because it's our merchandise. They are, in fact, massively comfortable. And also, every dollar you spend on one of those products, every dollar goes towards one of various charities from
Not
Black
every
Girls
dollar,
Code.
but all profits go to.
Well, that's what I meant. Well, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Every individual dollar.
We don't get any money from it. All that money goes all that money goes towards Black Girls Code, the Trevor Project, and Take This. So we would definitely appreciate it if you want to drape your body with our finery, and also support some very good causes while you're at it. And of course, you can always support us on Patreon and right here on Twitch if you want. Go ahead and click that follow button if you're not already following us. We definitely appreciate that. If nobody has anything else, Derek, you got anything else? No. You're moving around like a robot.
No, sure where can people find you, Amanda?
Oh right, yeah. Where can people find you, Amanda?
Live on social media, so you can find me on Twitter at Amanda Farough. I am on Twitch as Ready Player Mama. And if you really want to get the down and dirty about what the hell is going on in the game industry with regards to business and legal and labor and investments and all that stuff, you can check us out at virtualeconcast.com.
And what about you, Josh? Where can people find you?
Hi, my name's Josh. I go by Anoriand. The lovely Brit already dropped my link in chat for Twitter. That's twitter.com/AnoriandGD for Game Dad, because I'm the original Game Dad, and I have the YouTube creation stamp to prove it, but we're going to keep going before we get into this fucking fight again. You can also find me on twitch.tv/Anoriand without the GD at the end. I stream mostly video gaming, though I do some TTRPG stuff, which for those who don't know, tabletop RPG, Dungeons & Dragons, things like that. I've done it with several notable groups. I'm actually looking within the next couple months. I might be starting my own campaign of sorts that's going to be long running. I'm working on talking to sponsors so that I could get people paid for their time. But in addition to that, I just celebrated, as I said at the beginning, 3 years of streaming. So
happy stream anniversary!
Thank you. And people came through on that, but as a result, this weekend I'm going to be doing a whole playthrough of Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge on the Super Nintendo. And then in the near future, I have Final Fantasy. Yes.
That's what I like to hear. That's the fucking content I'm here for, Josh.
And in the near future, I got to do a full playthrough of Final Fantasy 2 and full playthroughs of Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, full length chaos maximized. I mean, chaos randomized, excuse me. Fuck up the map, fuck up enemies, fuck up everything. So life's good.
Awesome. I'm glad life is good for one of us. We live in a hell world right now.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing okay. I'll be doing a lot better when you come visit, Derek. All right, everyone. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate everyone for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Go follow us on @official SDGC at Twitter. And remember, kindness costs nothing. We will see you nerds next week.